Hi guys, this is Rohit. So in this tutorial, I'm gonna create this simple form. So here, my form contains 5 input types, and the first 3 are text input types, and the last 2 are password input types. And my form also contains 2 radio buttons here to indicate the gender, and one submit button. So this is all I have in my form. Let us look at a layout for this. So this is the layout of my form. Here in the top I have my form heading and the 5 input types and 2 radio buttons and one submit button in this entire form element. So now let's go to the text editor and write some code. So this is the template. How? So if you don't know how this code works, HTML, so go to my HTML tutorial section and watch my HTML tutorials and learn all these things. So now first I'm gonna create, let's increase the size. So I'm gonna create h1 heading for my form. So my heading is simple form. So let's write simple form. So that is it. So if you look at the browser, I have my heading simple form, and now I am creating the form here, form. So in the form I have 5 input elements. The first input is input element, so and the type is text. So copy this, paste it for 5 times. So save this and now see this in browser. So refresh this. So I have 5 input types. So if you see, if you look at this form, there is some name indicating what to enter here. So first name, last name, email, password, showing some names. So for that purpose I'm using placeholder for this. Placeholder, this is first name, and let's copy this, paste it. This is last name, this is email, and this is password, and this is confirm password. And I need to, here this is email, and this is password, type is equal to password, and this type is also password. So last two are passwords, and the middle one is email, and the first two are text types. So now save this and see this. So first two are text types, and the next one is email type, and next two is password type. So that is all we have right now. So now we're gonna create these radio buttons here. So now I'm gonna create this radio button. So for that purpose I'm creating a division. So I'm creating a division. So in the division I'm creating two input types for two radio buttons, and for label, and I'm also creating a label for that. I'm creating input, uh, so in the input, and and id equal to mail, and I am creating a label for that. and the label is for this label is for the label is male, and this we are creating this label for this radio button. So for here the id value is male, so I have to give male for that, so that this label is links with this input type. So for the same thing I'm doing the same thing for female also. Paste it, the type is radio, and must give female here, female. So save this. Now see this. So we have created two of them. If you see, both are selecting same time now, but we want only one should be selected at a time. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm giving the name here, name attribute as same. So this is gender. Suppose I'm giving the same name here, gender. So the value of this name is same to both of these input types. So now save this. Now look at the browser again. So if you see, only one is selecting. So that is it. And final thing is we have to create a submit button. I'm gonna create a submit button underneath this input. So type equal to submit, and I'm giving name, whatever the name we have given here is appear on the button. So I'm giving submit. So save this. Now see this in browser. So we have got, so submit button is there. So now we have to style this form like this. So now I'm gonna use some CSS here. So take the new file and save this file as style.css. So I have my style state. So now if you see this form, I have a bluish light bluish background for my body, and so now I'm creating nice bluish background. So the element is body, so I'm giving background color as hashtag E8F3F8. So this is, so if you want these colors, simply go to color picker. So colorpicker.com, you can get all these code values, color code values. So you can, so that you can use any color you want from here. Simply copy this color code, uh, copy this color code and simply paste it on your code with hashtag. So that is it. So now, so I have created body. So now save this. Okay, I have to link this style sheet to this. So for that i'm I'm giving link, oops, link relation style sheet type equal text, and href, that is style.css. Now save this, in browser. Oops, yeah. So I have my background. So now I have my form head form title is blue color, and it is centered. So now I have to do that now. So now my form element heading element is h1. So here I have written this form name here in h1 tag, so that is why I'm going h1. So in the h1 I'm going text align. I have to align its center, so I'm giving the value center, and the font size actually font size, so I'm giving 50 pixels, and the color for that is color I'm giving steel blue. You can also give some direct names, color names here. So save this. So now, yes, so I have my form title in the center. So now I have to edit these things. So now I'm gonna edit. So I am taking the form element here. I'm making the form element. So this is the form element. I'm gonna style that form element right now. So now I'm giving the margin as 20 pixels and auto, and width I'm giving the form width as 320 pixels, and color is steel blue. You can give any color names when you are creating. So now my form is 320 pixels and it is 20 pixels margin. So that is all I have, and now I'm gonna style input types. I'm giving padding padding 10 pixels, and font size inherit. What this inherit value does is it inherits the parent properties. So now save this and see this in browser. So I have my padding. So if you see, the box size is increased. So that is it. And I'm gonna use some pseudo classes here. So actually, why I'm making this form is it contains many pseudo classes. So you can learn those pseudo classes by creating this form. So now what is this? I'm creating. So if you look at this form contains a steel blue background steel blue border. So now I'm creating that. So I'm using some pseudo classes here. So input and braces. So type equals text, and display as box block, sorry, and margin bottom 25 pixels, and width I'm giving the width 100%, and border 2 pixel solid steel blue. So now save this and see this. Yes. So I have given the type text so that uh, it it changes only the text input fields. So that is why so I have given the type text. So now I have to apply the same properties to input type password also. So that is why I'm copying this and pasting, and I'm giving this password. So now say this and say this, and also an email type. So now I'm giving the same thing there. I'm copying this, pasting it, and type email. So now that is it. So now I have to style these radio buttons and submit button. So so now I have to give some margins to these radio buttons. Now I'm going to create those margins. And input type equals, so these are pseudo classes, one type of pseudo classes. Type equals radio, and I'm giving the margins 0. The top margin is 0. right right margin is 8 pixels, and bottom value is 25 pixels, and left value is 18 pixels. So that is it. Oops, I forgot to. Oh, so I have given the margins. Now say this. So I get some margin here, and so if you see this radio buttons, so these radio buttons are not aligning with these input types. So in order to align those things, I'm using a first child pseudo class. So here, so I am creating input type equals radio, and the pseudo class value is first child. The margin left is 0. So now save this and see this in browser. So now they are aligned perfectly. So now I have to style this submit button. So let's go to text editor and write, so input and type equals submit. Input type equal to text, and submit. So I'm in the submit, I'm giving the width of the button is 344 pixels, and height of the button as 45 pixels, and border, I'm giving border nothing, no border, border as none, and background only steel blue, and color of the text is white. Now save this and see this in browser. So now the width of this button is 344 pixels, and height of the button is 45 pixels. The background color of the button is steel blue, and color of the text is white. So that is it. And now we have some functioning in this form. See, there are some uh, blue, it is changing colors when we are focusing this element. So it is changing color to white. So we have to do that. So I'm gonna create that for these forms. So now what I'm gonna do is, so here in the input type equal to text, I'm giving another property, that is background property. Background, I'm giving the color some yellowish color. So now save this, see this. So these two, and now I need to give those same background to these three fields also. So now I'm copying this property, and type equal to password, I have to give the same thing to the password as well. and same thing to email us. So that is, so now save this. So this is all I have. So now when I am focusing this, so it is not turning to white. So what should I do? Okay, go to code. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going input colon focus. So when it is in focused state, I want my background color as background of the input as white. Background is white. Now save this, and now so it is nothing. When I refreshed, see how it's changed. So now my background is white. And another thing is, see when I am checking uh, these gender buttons, it is, so when I'm clicking mail, it is popping up and it is increasing the size and turning to bold. So now I have to create those two things. So now input type equals radio, and checked when it is checked. So when it is in checked state, plus label. Why should I have given the label? Because we have this label and this input types are associated with each other. This for is male, that means this label is for this id, this input id. So that is why we have to mention those label as well. So now we want the font weight as bold, and font size as I'm giving 18 pixels. Now save this and see this. Now I'm nothing. When I refreshed, see, you can see some change. Now if you observe, this this font family is different from this font. See, this heading is different from this from. So what I'm gonna give is, I'm giving the font size is 1 em slash font family is 1.5 sans serif. This is the font family. So now save this and say this. Yep, yes. So this is the form, same as this form. So that's pretty much it. Oops, I have forgotten another thing. So when I click on this submit, when I holding click, so it is turning to white. So how do I do that? So it is turning to white and the border is blue, steel blue border, bold steel blue border. So for this form there is not, okay, see, if you see, this is turning to white and nothing happens. So now I have to give that functioning. So now I am copying this same properties here. I'm pasting it, but I'm giving the state as focus state. Now save this and see this in browser. Now I'm refreshing it. See, when I clicking, oops, I forgot to change the values. So the background color must be white here, white, and this color should be steel blue, steel blue, and the border is solid steel blue. steel blue. Now save this and see this effect. Yes, so we have made everything. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial, guys. Hope you like this tutorial and follow all my tutorials on HTML, CSS, JavaScript and PHP as well. If you want my HTML tutorials link, so please check the description below. I have given all my tutorials links, so that you can learn everything. So I'm gonna upload more tutorials like this. I'm gonna create some projects on forms, different forms. So this is one of them. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and I'll see you in the next tutorial.